What's going on, everybody? MK Tom Brady here. In this video, I want to call everyone's attention to I meant to put this in my Hitboxes video and I never did. So I'm just going to do this example. I don't want to go on too long on this. And I'm not going to do any example except for one. But this is really an example of just how bad it's really gotten. So I'm going to pull up Terminator here. Now, Terminator, we all know he's got 3 variations, and variation 2 has got a lot of the good stuff. Like, besides the mix, which all 3 have, it's got this kind of running animation where he can like lunge at you, which has a crushing blow attached to it, like in the corner. He can do like an overhead into his dash, into like a move that'll launch, into whatever, into a lunge, and because of even though it's cornered, because of how long he can run before he actually tackles you, he gets a crushing blow off it, which is really cool. He also has a prerequisite that he can fulfill off of his command throw, which he can get a crushing blow off of this as well. But these other variations of Terminator, they don't really have that. They have the mix, but they don't really have a lot of the stuff off of the mix like this variation here has. Now, one thing about this variation is it does have the shotgun crushing blow, which again is universal. They all have the shotgun crushing blow. But one option that you could use is if you have it loaded and you happen to mix them up with the overhead. Say you've already used crushing blow, fatal blow, or you're not in fatal blow range yet, and this right here will end the match right there. Situations like this are really important to these other variations. The thing is, obviously they're crouching. It's an overhead. They get hit, quick 31%. That's really, really good. The problem here is this is really inconsistent. So what's really weird is not only does crazy stuff happen on block just by the characters existing, moves just go through them. Just by a character existing, a lot of the same stuff also happens in this game on hit. So really, we see a situation here with Terminator where he has that crushing blow loaded. You've got to keep that in mind in the mix-up. When he gets in. So he has. This is something that should work. It's designed to work. It's an overhead. It's designed to hit you if you're crouching, and then you do the special cancel. So what I want to do here is I want to record him doing it to Scorpion. And it hits if he's standing, which is really okay, fine. Hits if he's now it doesn't hit if he's crouching. Now it does hit if he's crouching. Okay. Now it doesn't hit if he's crouching. So this has a breathing hitbox issue against some characters. And it's also weird if he's in another stance. It'll miss sometimes. But in general, it's a breathing hitbox issue. So now it misses again. Now it misses again. We just saw this hit like 10 times in a row. And now it's missing. So it seems very inconsistent here. And now it's hitting. So for one, it's not even consistent on hit. Now the whole point of this, again, it's consistent on hit in stand block. But the problem is this is an overhead. It's supposed to hit you crouching. That's why it's an overhead. So we see it's very inconsistent against Scorpion. It is consistent against Baraka. And then we have characters where it just will never work ever on. Again, the usual suspects. And it just will never work ever on. So I had a list when this game, when Terminator first was released, I had a list of, it's several characters across the board for all options of it will never work ever. It will work sometimes because of breathing hitbox, and then other characters it'll work all the time. So we have, 3 categories. Will always work, will never work, and work sometimes at random based on a breathing hitbox. So, and this is on hit. This is not on block. So let's do this here. Okay, it looks like it hits fine, no problem. But it doesn't work no matter what. And someone will say try a different stance. It doesn't work. So the hitbox stuff is so weird that even on hit, some characters randomly it works, some it never works, some it always works. And it's not even like the player played a mind game. He actually guessed wrong. This should hit him. This could be the difference. This is an option that could win a match, right? That is not on the table, not because of counterplay, not because of mind games, simply because of the character that has on the screen. And it's even worse. At least these characters it does work on, these characters it doesn't. But then the characters in the middle, it does work unless they're breathing a certain way when it hits them when they're ducking. So these are the things. Now, normally as a community, what we like to say is play variation 2, bro, and just, this way you could command grab. But that's not the answer. The answer isn't, oh, because something is really inconsistent, drop the variation and play something else. This is designed to work. In fact, when they showed Terminator on the combat cast before he was released, and they explained that crushing blow, they showed him do it off his overhead, and they said he can even do it off of his overhead. So it was even, featured like, hey, he can do it out of his mix-up. So even while advertising the character, so to speak, this was something that's like, hey, and this is an option he can do if he has this crushing blow loaded. So this is just to highlight just how bad the hitbox issues have become. And like I said, these hitbox issues I think don't ever improve, because I really think as a community, where instead of, really going in on, all right, enough is enough, it's really time to fix the hitboxes, I think we are more like, pick a different variation, make a better read, pick a different character. We're always saying somehow it's our fault as players, as opposed to saying, this should not be happening, especially right now in 2020 when it's easier than ever to fix a game. There are a gazillion ways in which the game can be patched or hotfixed like that. And yet, this doesn't happen. And this is the only game that has, I think, this many types of issues, or Mortal Kombat games in general, I should say, not this one particularly. But yeah, they've got to, stuff like this has got to stop. For this game to fulfill the potential that it has, it's got to start with the basic stuff. Like making stuff at least hit consistently. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.